Hey y'all, it's Grandma here. I hear all the time, "Hey Grandma, how do I get better at comp?" Or, "Hey Grandma, how do I climb?" And there are already lots of guides out there that will give you gameplay tips, positioning, and hero-specific guides. But one thing that gets overlooked so much is how valuable comms are. Because at its core, Overwatch is a team game. So here are 10 ways you're communicating all wrong. Number 1. You don't talk at all. Not only do you not talk at all, but you're worse than that. You're a little keyboard warrior, typing away every time you die. Overwatch is a fast-paced game. Telling people how to play after the fact not only makes you look like an absolute coward, but it's way too late, bucko. Getting hung up on the last fight doesn't help with the next one. If you're not gonna be in voice, your text-based comms are not gonna help. There's a lot of valuable information that's just faster by saying it. The ping system is awesome, but someone's actual voice saying "Widow 1" and then pinging her location allows for a much better response time than one or the other for your team. Now, it's become very popular for guides about climbing in rank to say, "Just leave voice and play." But I promise you, the silence in everyone's games suck ass because everyone has a different idea about what's going on based on their own limited view of the game. You're just one person in a game with 9 other people. It's just not possible to know everything, so stop pretending you do and just get in voice chat. Now, there's a lot of validity to not speaking in voice chat because of harassment. I would say it's worth it to still try. Maybe practice saying very easy callouts to start, like who is low and where they are, or if you need help. Mute any weirdo who's mean. Report them. Keep calm and carry on. Number 2. You only talk to complain. Listen, we all get less than ideal teammates sometimes, but I promise you, coming into voice chat just to whine about how no one is pushing the supports, or how you think Mercy is a bad pick, or complaining about how few kills your DPS have are not good comms. Complaints are not only unhelpful to your team, but they are a waste of time. They only clog up space for useful information, and they kill morale. Keep that shit to yourself. Write a tweet about it later. I don't care. But I promise you, shutting the fuck up is better for your entire team. Complaints like, "This isn't working," or "We need to kill their healers," doesn't really help your team because it doesn't tell them what you want to do. They're just too vague. So, if you are frustrated, use that space to create a plan. Be descriptive, be specific. Say stuff like, "Hey, we have Kitsune Rush and Death Blossom here. Let's use Rush at the choke and then walk on their healers with Death Blossom." Your team might not follow it, it might not even work, but at least you tried. Number 3. You say me. Heal me, bubble me, nano me, help me. You are not the main character. No one knows who the fuck you are. So if you think people are looking at your teeny tiny hero icon in the heat of battle to see who the me who needs healing is, it's already too late. You've died. So, if you want your team to react accordingly, say your hero's name. I am begging you. If you need healing, say, "Heal your Genji," and press the "I need healing" button. Your support now knows instantly who you are and where you are because pings give you the directional, visual, and audio cues. If you're being dove, say, "Help your Ana," and ping the threat. Again, Overwatch is a fast-paced game, and those are precious seconds. Be clear, be concise. Number 4. You don't use pings with your comms. Pings are an amazing addition to Overwatch. Pings are often faster than words, but combined with words, they are so much more powerful. Pinging a Widow's location and saying, "Widow here," versus trying to say, "Widow's in the second leftmost window in the green building, but like the light green building, not like the dark green building," could literally save someone from getting their face blown off. It gives your team safe sightlines to push or to rotate. Also, people use very different words for the same location sometimes, so pinging clears up any ambiguity. Again, those precious seconds matter. Number 5. You are passive aggressive. I know y'all don't think you're being passive aggressive when you say, Doomfist isn't working, or get off Ana. But you are. Knock that shit off. All that does is make your teammates defensive, which doesn't help them play any better. 9 times out of 10, people are open to swapping, if you aren't an utter dingus about it. Say something like, hey Ana, if you're getting dove, maybe go Moira or Kiriko so you have an easy escape. Or, I think Kiriko might be really good here, we're getting antied every fight, and cleanse would be huge. I promise you, you can get the changes you want in your comp without being an ass. Number 6. You are just aggressive. Listen, there's trash talk and friendly banter, and then there's just being an asshole. If you're just using voice to absolutely flame the living hell out of your 12 and 6 Genji, they're not gonna magically start playing better. Also, friendly reminder, it's not friendly banter if that person isn't your friend. They don't know you, and they don't give a shit about your dark, edgy humor. Now don't get me wrong, in the heat of a team fight, there's bound to be overlapping and sometimes loud comms. But if you're literally deep-throating your McDonald's drive-thru microphone because you're tilted, your teammates are gonna give you the insta-mute, and you'll be screaming into the void whether your comms are useful or not. Also, don't fight with these aggro weirdos. Definitely stand up for your teammates, but keep it brief and then move on. Mute them, report them, keep comms clear. Dunking on them or fighting with them throughout the entire match not only distracts from useful comms, but it also just drags the morale of your team down. And they will hate you just as much as the person who instigated. Number 7. Not communicating your intentions. The most frustrating comms I come across are people who go in and try to make a play, and then die horribly because no one knew what they were doing. Then they have the audacity to get mad that their team didn't read your mind. Listen, maybe it's super obvious to you what you're doing, but your teammates aren't psychic. If you try as Genji to solo contest the Mercy pocketed Ashe on high ground, and you die screaming, why did nobody push the Ashe? Consider maybe it's because you didn't say that you were gonna do that. This ties a lot into what we've already gone over, but be precise. Don't be vague. There's no time. You can scream in the chat, ult now, ult now, ult now, but no one is gonna know who you're talking about, and that's a good way to encourage your team to waste 5 ults and then not have any for the last fight. If you want Ana to nano Winston for the next fight, say that's what you want. If you're looking to use your ult next push, tell the team before you push. I've talked a lot in this video about how in Overwatch there are precious seconds for some comms to be useful. For others, it's better to be patient and take those extra seconds to state your intentions. Go into the fight knowing your team is on board. Those extra seconds might also help you make sure there isn't a tracer tickling your Ana's booty when you're about to go in for a big play and you need that support. Number 8. You take too long to communicate. Now you may think the more information you give and the more detail you have, the better it is. I'm gonna sound like a broken record at this point, but people don't need a detailed breakdown of how Ana used nade and sleep and is approximately 35 HP behind the big gray rock on the left that looks like Sigma's big toe. They need to hear Ana low on ping, no cooldowns, possibly repeated by Ana, 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 Ana. Just to drive the point home. If you take too long, by the time people understand what you mean, the support passive is kicked in, or she got healed by her other support. So, be clear, be concise, use pings, and enemies will get focused faster. Save the essays for your twit longers. Number 9. Micromanaging your teammates. Everyone thinks they know how to play someone else's role or hero better than them, and maybe sometimes that's true. But if you are a micromanaging Andy, I promise you, these are not useful comms. It's distracting, it's condescending, and it's annoying. There's a big difference between, hey Mercy, come with me on the flank, and constantly telling your Mercy what you think they should do, what they shouldn't do, pointing out every perceived mistake, when to res, when to damage boost, when to heal, and then finally flaming them the second they leave you to peel for the other support. You don't get to have all your team's resources at all times. You are not literally God. You can't see what your teammates see, and you can't always know what they know. If you're constantly telling them what to do, they might not have the chance to communicate plays or meaningful information that you are missing. Listening is just as important to comms. Which brings us to number 10. You don't listen. A lot about giving good comms ties into game sense, because giving good comms means knowing what the fuck you're actually talking about. That's why it's even more important to know when someone has given you useful information and what to do with it. How often has your Ana said, "They're all antied," only for you, the diva, to sit at choke having a staring contest with the enemy Vermatra holding up his block? How often does your tank say, "Kiri no TP and no Suzu," and you do not immediately dive her ass because you're hyper-focused on invoking Mercy that you're never gonna kill? People giving comms and teammates just straight up not listening because they think they know better are exactly why some games, there seems to be no target focus, even if someone is calling targets or stating their intentions. Remember, you are not God. You do not know everything. Know when to talk, but also know when to shut up and listen to your team. So, there you have it. When it comes to communicating in Overwatch, you should definitely do it. Overwatch is basically a team-based 3D battle chess with guns, different roles, and specifically timed abilities. Knowledge is power. Communicating that knowledge is powerful. Listening to your teammates' knowledge is powerful. Good comms can win you games. Because 5 brains tracking abilities, cooldowns, and ultimates is way easier than you trying to do all that shit yourself. So be constructive, be clear, be concise. Say what you mean without being mean. Because silent games are just no fun, and honestly, they just aren't as competitive. Now, get in there and practice those good comms. Grandma, over and out.